Hello, I'm Adam Pugh, Executive Director of Communication and Partnerships for Griffin-Spalding County School System, and I'm here with a very special guest, Mr. Sam Allen. And I wanted to, Sam, if you would you tell us a little bit about the investment you've made in our school system and maybe some of your motivation for doing so?
Well, let me take a crack at the question of why. Although in the last 70 years I've lived in 6 major cities: Nashville, Washington, Baltimore, Boston, New York, and Atlanta. I grew up here. My roots are in Griffin. Lifelong friendships are in Griffin. And much of my life was shaped by my early days in Griffin, and importantly, by my educational experience here. I didn't really realize at the time, and I think our teachers probably won't fully understand their impact on students until much later. But in my case, for example, in my senior year in high school, which was 1953 and 54, they consolidated, first of all, the school system was much smaller. And they consolidated the county school, Spalding, with the city school, Griffin. And you can imagine on day one, here are 100 students from Spalding being introduced to roughly 60 students from Griffin. So it was quite a sociological experience. And maybe the first time where you had to really learn how to get along in life.
Okay.
But as I say, I didn't realize it until later how important the teachers were in shaping my life. And that's really the message for today, which is that our teachers are more than teachers. They are people who can influence the lives of today's students and put them on a better track. We want to try to improve that track. We have really two goals. One is to improve the capacity of young people to learn. I'm having to wean myself away from saying kids, but to increase their capacity to learn and increase the capacity of teachers to be rewarded by their profession.
Sure.
To enjoy it, to be fulfilled by it. So that's the basic message for this program. Now, what were the other parts of it, maybe? Well,
so you're a local, homegrown Griffin High graduate, class of 1954. Is that correct?
1954.
1954. And so, tell us. You referenced the impact teachers can make on students. Do you have a teacher or a coach or someone who was very influential that stands out in your memory from your educational experience?
Well, I do. My 11th grade English teacher was a lady, wonderful lady named Miss Elliott. And she gave us a paper. I wrote the paper, handed it in. I got the paper back from Miss Elliott, and written across the top was, "You can do better. Why are you squandering your ability?" C.
Okay.
I'd never made a C in my life. But the important part about that, I think, was that she didn't criticize me. She challenged me. She knew just enough about me to, as I say, to challenge me and put me on a different track. I can't say that alone changed the course of my life, but things like that cumulatively do have effect on you. My high school coach was a great man named Jim Cavan. And I was so proud to have made the team my sophomore year. And then one day I was late for practice, and he called me. I thought I could slip onto the field and he wouldn't see me, but of course he did. He knew exactly where every player was. And he called me over and he said, "Where have you been, Alan?" And I kind of stumbled around. I said, "Well, Coach, I had to stay after school." He said, "What for?" And again, I kind of stumbled around. I said, "What for?" And I said, "Talking in class, Coach." He said, "You see that track over there?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Start running." Hot day, full uniform. He let me run for about 45 minutes. Then he called me over and he put me in the scrimmage. And he put 3 guys in front of me. And his instructions to him were, run over him. So we went through that little drill for 10, 15 minutes. And he called me over and he said, "You think you can keep your mouth shut?" I said, "I think I got it, Coach." He said, "Do you know what happened here today?" I said, "I think I do, Coach." He said, "I don't think you do." He said, "These guys were depending on you, my teammates, and you let them down." So again, instead of telling me what a jerk I was, he told me that I had failed in my own responsibility. That was 70 years ago, and I still remember that. So I owe a lot to, the bottom line of all this is I owe a lot to Griffin. The more nuanced answer to your question about why you want to do this is because Griffin has undergone a lot of change. Griffin in my day, was a textile town.
Yes, sir.
And the textile industry, of course, went offshore to cheaper labor sources, and it really hit Griffin hard. Probably took a third of the jobs in the city and set us back. But education, and a lot of us say we're fortunate in life and we want to give back.
Yes, sir.
But we don't know how to do that. We stumble around, and I have decided that with a lot of help from my associates, particularly Edith Draylock, who's with me today, that education is one of the great equalizers.
I agree.
That, education can level the playing field and give kids an opportunity, not a chance, but an opportunity. It's up to them to pick up on it, and it's up to our teachers to present it to them in a way that's really understanding and motivating to them. So that's kind of how we come to where we are today.
Well, we appreciate very much your commitment to education and to this community, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that teachers not only educate students, but they can inspire them, they can challenge them, they can build relationships. That my 4th grade teacher did such a thing for me that changed my whole trajectory. Even though I had a loving family, she helped give me direction.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. So tell me briefly about your professional career. What have you done in all those cities as you've traveled around?
Some of them were graduate schools, some of them were the military. But I have worked in Atlanta now for 50 odd years, I guess, in the investment management business. A business that calls for an awareness of what's going on all over the world.
Yes, sir.
And it's challenging itself. And one of the things you find out is there's no such thing as perfection. But there is such a thing as drive and determination. And so again, that's what I would try to impart to our students.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about your family? How many kids and grandkids you have?
Yes, I have a wife, 3 children, all of whom now have finished college, all of whom are productively employed. It shocks me when I say their ages are 58, 56, and about 50.
Okay.
Tells you how old I am.
That's a good thing. Last question. just for those who are watching this interview, the investment that you're making is going to create an endowment that's going to add more tools to our teachers' tool belt from now until forever. It'll generate money every year to be used for professional development, and to start with, we're going to be working on classroom management and engaging curriculum and relationship building and things of that nature, and we're calling this Operation Reset Academy, working on resetting expectations across the board. Would you like to share any more about the details of the donation that you're making through Partners in Education to set up this endowment?
Well, you touched on I think, a critically important thing. This not just be a one-off event where we maybe improve the two things I was talking about, the capacity to learn and the capacity to teach. And I want to come back to the capacity to teach thing. But we are endowing the fund so that the fund will throw off enough money each year to employ consultants for a new group of teachers. And my understanding from my conversations with you and with the school board is that we will go wherever the need is the greatest. So with a little luck and a little skill, this will go on for many, many years and hopefully elevate the educational level of the entire county. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that we're going to improve the life of every student. If we succeed in a reasonable number, and I don't know what that number is, but if we are able to assist some portion of our student body, we'll consider it successful.
Well, I consider it a success already, and thank you very much for the investment in our community and in our school system specifically. And what would you say to inspire the educators that on some days, may feel like they're met with adversity or frustration?
I would say they have a chance to make a difference. That's such an old, hokey statement, but they have a chance to make a difference. It's an exciting time, and they've all been surveyed to see what they think they need the most, what they don't need or not interested in. This first start will be, as you've said to me, a pilot program. So I would just say it's an exciting time. We're not Lewis and Clark on the Northwest Passage, but we are, plowing new ground, so to speak, in which the teachers will definitely have a voice.
Well, thank you again on behalf of our school system for affirming the work of public educators, for affirming Griffin-Spalding County school system through your investment, and just
well, it's my pleasure and Edith's pleasure. So
well, and we're thankful, but it's going to have a ripple effect in this community for many, many years, and we thank you.
Hopefully.